10 years from now, your future self is looking back at the version of you now. What do you think that she wishes you started earlier, practiced more, or fully trusted yourself in? The interesting thing about developing your intuition, going into your spiritual awakening journey, healing journey, is that you have no idea the dividends that you are going to receive when you are initially starting or even while you're doing it. I think about that question, I have to go back to 7 years ago in 2018 when I first had my spiritual awakening. And I literally had no idea what I was getting myself into. People who know me, you know that my spiritual awakening really started, well, really back in 2012, but it actually officially really started in 2018 when I had a tooth pulled and it hit my upper palate, caused my face to go numb. When it came back, I was really able to see energy, see spirit with my physical eyes. That's what really started me to go, okay, something's actually happening here and I need to figure out what's going on, and went into the realm of spirituality out of the religion I was taught when I was younger. I did not know, nor did I have the desire. It wasn't even in my field of awareness that I could possibly take what I was learning and working on and crying about and journaling about. And what does it mean when you see a blue spark in your mind's eye and going down deep Reddit threads? I had no idea that it would take me to where I am now, which is here 7 years later, being a teacher of intuition, of healing, offering sessions, and that being my full time job when I had worked as a RN for majority of my life. I want you to think about yourself in this way as well. What are you being asked to dive more into? What is a struggle that you feel keeps coming up in your spiritual journey? And you're like, why am I always butting against this? Is it a sense of worth that you don't feel good enough? You don't feel as though you're intuitive enough? The truth is 7, 6, even 5 years ago, if someone had told me this is the path and this is exactly what it's going to look like, I probably would have wrecked it. I would have tried to be something else. I would have modeled myself after other people and other intuitives that I was seeing. I wouldn't have followed and forged my own path. Not that it was easy. It was very confusing. And God knows there were many days where I'm like, why can't you just tell me what to do? Why can't you tell me if this will be successful or not? Why can't you tell me, is it my soul's destiny to be an intuitive or not? We can find ourselves in that jumbled space, especially when we're wanting to share our connection to other people. The beautiful thing is everything that I've had to work through, everything that I went, why me? Why is it that I'm always feeling abandoned? Why is it that I always don't feel good enough? Why is it that I don't ever trust myself? Why is it that I see these kind of images? Why is it that I struggle speaking up and I'm afraid that people are going to think this and I absorb people's energy? Is everything that I work with my mentorship students, with my clients on. It's everything I needed to go through so that I could actually help people and not just give those surface level readings. Not that those don't have a place and not any judgment on those readers, but there are some readers and intuitives who have a hard time going to the depth. And not every reading needs to be to the depth. But if you're going to be with me and work with me, we're going to go to those lower realms. What's actually causing you to not be able to trust what you're receiving? What's actually causing you to feel stifled in your life? Because without it, everything's just a band aid or fix, and we're waiting for the next spiritual high to tell us that we're good enough so we can just keep walking forward, when really it's putting the cart before the horse. It's too far downstream. We need to go back up. We need to figure out what is the core pattern and belief, and how can we work with that? How can we transform that, transmute it, so that you can really hold your power? And that is exactly what I needed to do. I was able to see, oh, I have my abilities come online just like day one, just opened up. I was able to hear, I was able to see, like really, really see and sense. And it was so overwhelming to my senses that I didn't trust myself. And the beautiful thing is, and this is why I teach this, is it is so important to do the healing work, because no amount of gifts will allow you to trust what you're receiving if you don't actually trust yourself. Okay. So know that the work that you are putting in, you do not know when you're going to be looking back 3 years, 5 years, even a year from now, but go all the way out to 10 years, what your future self is going to be like. Thank goodness this is what she did. Thank goodness she decided to go forward. take the course, take the leap, trust her intuition, develop her abilities, not so that you can get the applause of other people, but so that you can actually get the applause from yourself. You can truly understand that you are always worthy, always connected, but that growth takes time. Oftentimes, the work that we're doing on ourselves in the day to day moment, because that's where it's really important, it doesn't show up right away. You get a sense of an awareness and you feel a little bit of a reprieve, but it really builds this sense of legacy that you're able to connect into, this intuitive sense of power and momentum that builds over time. If I had to choose three things that your future self would want you to know and to invest in, it would be firstly that consistency beats intensity. That means you showing up on a daily basis in the way that you can is always going to be better in the long run than you waiting weeks trying to find a transcendental meditation or an activation or going to a retreat and taking plant medicine, something like that randomly to try to get this real fix of let me like go to Costco and build up my spiritual bulking and so I can kind of like let it feed me for the next few weeks rather than having a consistent basis. And what I'm seeing is Costco, which I love Costco, buying in bulk spirituality. And instead, the image that I'm getting is having your own garden outside where you can go out and you can pick a few tomatoes today. And then within the next day or two, there are going to be other ones that are ripe and ready. It's not this overwhelming bounty, but it is a consistency that is homegrown by you. And that means that you tend to yourself every day. And spiritual work doesn't necessarily have to look the way you think it does. It doesn't mean that it looks like deep meditation every day. It means that you choose to be present with yourself. You set intentions for your day. It means that you are choosing to become more aware of what is driving the patterns, choices, and decisions in your life. Spiritual growth means that you adapt each day to what you need. It's not this rigid masculine form of I must sit and meditate and go completely quiet for 30 minutes a day. But I think we've all gone through that stage within our lives of that discipline that we think is required. And in a way, spiritual discipline is required. But after we move out of that rigidity, what we really need and what really builds that impact, that legacy, that strong trust in your intuition and connection to oneself is the ability to consistently show up for yourself in the way that not only your soul needs, but in the way in which your physical body, in your nervous system, in the field of energy that is pulsating around you is requiring. And what that's going to require is a sense of adaptability, a sense of connection to oneself to say, what is it that I actually need today to feel balanced? When you do this consistently over time, not in those bursts of energy where, oh, shoot, life's been going really bad. Let me try to get something. If the goal is to develop a sense of inner awareness and inner expansion so that our outer world expands, that's going to happen through the day to day repetition of consistently meeting yourself. Second thing your future self would want you to know is integration is the goal. Do not just do your intuitive practices. Do not just sit and meditate to check it off a list because that's what you're supposed to do. If anything, you have taken what is so deeply transformational and deeply personal to you and made it a chore. That is not the energy that is going to transform your inner and outer world. That is not what is going to give you peace, a sense of connection, a sense of control and resiliency over your inner working. The goal isn't to be able to do as much as it is to be and to become and to remember oneself. This is what I talk about when people are just interested in opening their third eye and opening up their psychic abilities and have no desire to actually do the inner work of the shadow healing and the reintegration of energy and to know oneself because it is just checking off a box. I can clairvoyantly see now. This is what I want. I want to be able to see and perceive so that I can receive more information. If that is all that you desire, but don't desire to utilize that to understand yourself with a deeper, more compassionate and greater quality so that you can truly remember, become, and integrate that knowledge into a more peaceful, expanded, and magnetic form. It will be checking off a box. It will be a checklist of this looks good. This is what a spiritual person does. This is what another spiritual person does. That does not create a change in your life. It creates another mask. It creates another false identity that is worn to make us feel comfortable, to make us feel seen, and then taken off. But that does not heal the person. That does not shift their inner makeup. That only allows them to feel better. That does kind of verge into what a lot of people find themselves in, which everyone moves through, is spiritual ego. There's not one person who has not struggled with spiritual ego. I can see this, I can channel this collective, so therefore that means something. In a sense, yes, that can mean something, but it doesn't mean much because information and the ability to garner information is a small fraction of what it means to be a soul, to be alive, to choose to come into this physical experience and truly expand your consciousness. Your future self is saying, don't focus just on the meditation. Don't just focus on the breath work or saying you do the Kundalini activations or the Reiki attunements to get yourself to a certain place. No judgment to that. If you desire deep transformation, you must also balance that with integration, meaning how can I apply all of the things that I am learning into my day-to-day life? How I speak to myself, how I respond to myself, how I comfort my inner self. How do I apply what I'm learning to be more loving to the people in my family? Also, that means boundaries with yourself and with others. Do not mistake me saying being more loving, meaning being a doormat and doing the exact same thing that you've allowed people to do probably for years, which is to use your kindness for weakness. What I mean with being more loving to yourself and the people around you, say your truth and to say that this is what I allow versus what I don't allow when we're speaking about boundaries. That is the most loving thing that you can do for yourself and other people. It draws a line saying, this is what's okay and this is what's not okay. And I give you the option whether you want to agree to that or not. And then that will decide what kind of relationship then you have with that person. The goal with integration is to really see how is everything that I'm learning supplying my life and shifting it into a higher quality. And that's where I feel that a lot of people get stuck. And it's definitely where I found myself is I had information, but why am I learning it? What I recommend you start doing is to utilize your intuition, your empathic abilities, all of your different intuitive abilities, your connection to whether it is more star energy, whether it is more earth energy or spirit guides or ascended masters. Focus on what does that actually matter for me? How can I utilize that and then transform the way I speak to myself? So that you can understand the goal of developing your abilities isn't so that you can wow other people, but so that you can be truly loving to yourself and then to others. The third thing your future self would want you to know is invest in shifting your timeline. If that means you invest in learning about real estate so that you can move out of a job that you truly hate and move into a job with more freedom, more creativity, a way for you to be your own boss, then do that. If it means that you invest in a course or mentorship or sessions to connect into your intuition without the years of trial and error of confusing your spiritual connection, then do that. If that means that you go out and you cut and color your hair, you get a massage, you buy the shoes that you've always wanted but felt like they were too expensive, within reason, of course, don't bankrupt yourself for it, then do it because it's garnering your power back. Invest in yourself. That is one of the quickest ways to regain your power is investing in oneself, whether it's in the spiritual, whether it's in regards to your career, in the physical, in the mental. Invest. Show that you are worthy of being invested in and understand that the energy that you give yourself, that you say yes to yourself, that you say yes, you are worthy of will compound over time. The more you can say yes to yourself, the more the universe can say yes to you. This is the collapsing of timelines. When you decide that you are worthy of that, that you are taking your power back, you say yes and more, yes and more, yes and more. The universe can't help but to match that. Say yes to the things that you desire that are aligned for you by not only saying yes, but applying the aligned action to it. Yes and more. This is another example about the choices that you make consistently make big changes over time. Let's connect into your future self now. If you have the ability to close your eyes, if not, keep your eyes open and just taking notice of your body. This won't be long, just a nice deep breath in and through the nose into the belly and out of the mouth. I want you to create a soft inward smile to yourself, expressing gratitude for this moment. And that can look like, I'm just so happy that I'm showing up for myself right now. I want you to bring your awareness to around your heart chakra, meaning when I say bring your awareness, a lot of people get confused with this. Imagine you're at the top of your head. Now imagine you are all your energy, like a heartbeat, is on your left elbow. And then bring all of your energy and awareness to your heart. Smile. Go ahead and invite in your future self of your highest, abundant, spiritual, loving, healed self. Don't worry about seeing it clearly. Don't worry about seeing. That may not be the main way in which you're going to receive this. It may just be a knowing or a feel, like I feel like, or I want to say this. Trust that. Please trust this. Knowing that your future self of this timeline is pulling in closer you 5 to 10 years from now. And I want you to ask her, what is one thing you would desire me to start implementing, trusting, being more open to, so that I can connect with your energy, this timeline, even sooner? And what do you just want to say? It could be just a word. What does that look like? Ask what that will look like for you. What that feel like? What am I supposed to be feeling like each day to move into her timeline? How am I supposed to be behaving and treating myself each day? Once you receive, feel, sense, know, or you can even say imagine. Feel free to say imagine because that's usually safer for people at first with their intuition when they're learning to develop it. And express gratitude for this experience, meaning imagine you are just pure light pushing out of your body from your heart. Gratitude, that smile, even placing a hand on your heart can even be helpful. I'm so thankful for connecting in to this version of me. I'm so thankful that I am already her, even though I cannot perceive it in my reality yet. I know that I'm already her. I know that I'm already this energy. I know that I'm already abundant. I know that I am already trusting myself. I know that I am intuitive. Thank you, thank you, thank you for showing that to me, for reminding me the truth of who I am. Taking a deep breath, coming back into your awareness, opening your eyes if you were able to close them. And I would really recommend writing down what you received from your future self. This is a practice that you can definitely start applying in your day to day life when it feels appropriate. Remember, I said spiritual awakening and the spiritual journey doesn't mean rigidity. It doesn't mean every day at 9 a.m. I connect into my future self, unless that's something that you are needing and desiring at this moment. It does not need that rigidity. You will feel when it's like, okay, now I need to anchor into my future version of myself because I've forgotten myself again. I've forgotten who I'm wanting to become. And so I'm looking elsewhere. A lot of people are looking for their future self in Instagram and online and on podcasts and while other people are sharing their experiences and you say, if I can only become like them, but instead, what if you took that power back? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Take your own timeline back. Your future self is your muse. It is the desired outcome. It is the glorious, it is the person that you're looking for inspiration from. She is already all of these things, as are you. It's just implementation into your life over time, consistency, creating the new identity that that future self is residing at so that you can shift into it, not by just make believing, but the actual works, the actual energetic investment that you are consistently showing up and doing day by day. That is how it will happen. It's not going to happen in the next second. It's not going to even happen in the next month. It's not even going to happen in the next 3 months. You can have major shifts, but the actual real frequency, legacy of intuition, of deep, deep inner change and alchemy, it happens over time by showing up over and over and over and not self-abandoning yourself. Not saying, hey, this isn't working out, so I'm going to abandon my needs. I'm not going to listen to myself. I want you to dive in deeper. I want you to not leave yourself, not to say, hey, this is silly. This isn't going to work out. I'm not good enough. Let me give up. There is never going to be a reason why you shouldn't be showing up for yourself. If you've made the intuitive and spiritual journey about achieving some sort of fame or wowing other people, then it's going to make sense to give up because that's going to take time to achieve that. If you are on this journey, not only to open up your abilities, but to also utilize that so that you can become the most vibrant, magnetic, embodied frequency of yourself, there's never a reason to not meet yourself over and over and over. Okay. That is the dedication I desire for you to create for yourself. That is the dedication that your future self, if she could just jump in front of you, say, hey, please do this. Stop lagging behind. Stop selling yourself short. Stop saying if only and when this and if I can just do this. If I only look like this, if I only have this kind of money, if I have this many people booking, stop. Come the energy now by meeting it over and over every single day. This is truly what I help people do, whether it's in my sessions, my Spirit Connector sessions, but actually this kind of transformation, this kind of connection to not only your abilities, but your healing, the ability to see beneath the layer of what is actually going on. You say you can't trust your intuition, but what's actually going on is that you have grief sitting on your chest and on your heart. You are unable to forgive yourself. You're still hearing your mother's voice. You're still feeling your father's abandonment. How do we shift that? So you become your most radiant self. That's what you desire. If we put other, carrots in front of us thinking that this shiny thing, this ability will bring that for me, it will pull you forward, but it will not pull you to your destination. You'll need something else. And that's where the long-term work happens. That's what happens in my one-on-one mentorships is a deep transformative experience that is curated for each person specifically. What are you needing? What are you wanting to achieve? Let's figure out what's stopping that so that we can easily move into flow state, so that we can go into compassionate release. And so we can start embodying that future self now, creating that identity through day-to-day rituals, connections, and compassion for oneself. Future self was speaking to you today, or they have been speaking to you, and you are desiring transformation for yourself. My one-to-one mentorship information will be in the show notes. See if you're a good fit for my one-on-one container. I want to work with people who feel as though I'm talking their language, that I know them. You're hearing the things that I'm saying. You're like, yep, she's in my mind. Yep, that's me. Yep, that's where I'm at. That's what I desire. Whether you're wanting to go and create a spiritual business or you're already in spiritual business, but you're needing clarity, you're needing a better flow with your intuitive gifts, or you just know that you're sensitive, reach out and let's have a conversation. Until next time, stop trying to be spiritual.